The Whiteline front and rear sway bars here for the 2005 to 2014 Mustang will be for the owners who want to help eliminate the factory body roll and improve the overall handling characteristics of your S197. Now the Whiteline options will deliver a 33mm front bar along with a 27mm rear bar and will be the only pair currently available in the category to deliver 4-way adjustability. Your price point will hover in that mid $400 range, and the install, according to the site, will get a soft 2 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter, a couple of hours or so to complete from start to finish, as we'll show you guys here in a little bit. So if you didn't know, Whiteline is a very solid company who has really made a big splash in the Mustang world over the last few years and continue to do their thing today, producing high quality suspension components for a number of different gens, including the SN95, S197, and of course the newer S550s. Now, depending on your year and model Mustang, you can really be dealing with any number of stock sway bar diameters for the S197 in particular, but for reference sake, guys, the stock 11 to 14 GTs came equipped with a 34mm stock front bar and a 24mm rear bar, while earlier S197s and V6 cars had a different and smaller front and rear bar entirely. So with that in mind, Whiteline decided to land on a 33mm front bar, 27mm rear bar, and again, both solid, both are 4-way adjustable. Now that's gonna be crucial here, guys, because that rear diameter is pretty big. On the surface, really upping that rear bar diameter over the factory option while reducing the size of the front will certainly introduce a bit of oversteering tendencies, but that's where the adjustments will be critical to help you dial in the feel or the balance of your car. But when installed and more importantly set up properly, these bars here from Whiteline will help you drastically reduce your body roll by increasing what is called torsional resistance. Now, I've always said, in my opinion, guys, these cars feel a bit underbarred from the factory, which in turn can lead to the cars kind of pushing or plowing through a turn, basically understeer, right? However, by increasing that rear diameter here and using the fine tuning, easily achieve a neutral balance or even a bit of oversteer, which will certainly help the car rotate through those turns a little bit better than before. Now again, these bars will be constructed from a solid spring steel material and finished in the Whiteline trademark gray powder coat. Whiteline does also kick in some really nice extras here, like your high quality end links and sway bar mounts, in addition to all of your hardware and bushings needed to complete the install. They're also giving you some lateral locks to prevent the bar from sliding or shifting under intense lateral loads, which doesn't happen often, but is certainly possible. But now that you know a little bit more about the bars themselves, Whiteline, all that good stuff, what do you say we walk you through the process of getting these things bolted up to your S197? So without further ado, here's my buddy to walk you through the job, in addition to showing you a quick little tool breakdown.
Tools used for this installation: 19mm wrench, 17mm wrench, deep sockets ranging from 14 all the way up to 19mm, extension, 3/8 drive, trim panel removal tool. Optional is an air ratchet, an electric impact, also a 1/2-inch air impact, and the lug socket, of course. All right, to get started, I'm gonna be removing both of our wheels and tires in the back here. You don't have to do this, but to show you guys a little bit easier, I'm gonna be removing these. All right, so I have the vehicle up on the lift. I have the rear end supported with these jack stands here. You can accomplish the same thing on the ground just by using jack and jack stands. We have the luck of having a lift, but what we're gonna do now is take a 15mm socket and get the stock sway bar out of here. All right, now this should just swing down a little bit. And now we're gonna take our 15mm socket again, remove these brackets. Now I have my pole jack here to kind of help me hold that while I get the other side. So what we're gonna do now is bring our new sway bar into place. We have to put our brackets up and onto our axle tube itself. So this big U-bolt is gonna go around the tube, And then the mount is gonna go just like this. And then this is where the bushing is gonna sit for your sway bar. So we're gonna put that just like that. I'm gonna put the nut on the back side to try to keep it all locked in place. And that way I can have that open and try to slide that sway bar in. And I have that on both sides. All right, now I have my buddy Adam over here helping me, giving me an extra hand. I'm gonna slide this sway bar up and into place. And he's gonna start that hardware for me. We're gonna bring this one up as well. All right, now that we have our brackets in place, I've already tightened down this one. We're gonna do the same on this. It's a 14 mil for these nuts. Do that on both sides. Now we're gonna lift this into place here. Make sure it's on track with where it needs to be. It looks like it needs to come to the passenger side a little bit, so we should be able to work it. Now we're gonna bring our end link up. There is a large metal spacer we're gonna put in between to make up that space in this body mount here. Run our bolt through. Do this on both sides and tighten it up. And then we're gonna get a piece of hardware here and attach our sway bar. All right, these are 19 millimeter bolts and nuts. Tighten these up now. All right, now we're gonna be attaching the hardware to our end link here. Just bring this up into place there. You'll notice that there are 4 holes in the end of this sway bar. That is for the different stiffness that this bar can accommodate. So we're just gonna put it on the very last hole. I'm gonna put a washer at the end of that with that nylock nut. I'm gonna repeat that on the other side as well. Then let's tighten this down. We're gonna use a 17 millimeter wrench for the head of this bolt and a 17 millimeter socket for the backside nut. All right, next we're gonna move on to the front. Get these front wheels and tires out of here. All right, now I have an 18 millimeter deep socket. I'm gonna attempt to get this sway bar end link out of the strut assembly here. Now I'm gonna try to put a little backwards pressure with my hand. Just try to make sure that this does not spin. And that came right out. So we'll separate that. We'll get the other side disconnected as well. And we'll get the vehicle up in the air and get the sway bar out of here. All right, underneath the Mustang, just forward of the oil filter here, you'll see the brackets that attach the sway bar. I have a deep 15 millimeter socket on my air ratchet. I'm gonna break these free first, and then I will loosen it up with the air. All right, let me get the other side. Make sure this doesn't fall on my head. Gonna leave that on by a couple threads. Get this guy off on this side. Now I'm gonna carefully remove this and set it off to the side. I'm gonna pull straight back with it and then angle it forward to get my stock end links out of here. All right, now we're gonna bring the new sway bar into place. This is a little heavier than the factory one. So I have my jack, my pull jack here. I'm just gonna crank it up here, put it into this place where it needs to be. Now I did reuse these factory brackets for our bushings on the end of our sway bar. I'm gonna get this close to where it needs to be. Get it off that oil pan there. Start a couple of my nuts. We're just gonna tighten it down a little bit. Top and bottom evenly, as even as we can. And we can get rid of our pole jack here. All right, so we have our new end link right here. I put the 2 washers on the back side of it. We're gonna slip this into place. You can see it's still loose. We're gonna get that final lockdown when it is installed. Pull that through. I'm gonna put another washer on that back side, followed up by my 17mm nut. Same thing with the bottom. Washer right there, followed by that 17mm nut. Now I'm going to attempt to tighten this up without using an Allen key to hold it. See if we're successful. It looks like we are. Let's tighten up the bottom. My impact won't fit, so let me get my air ratchet. Now we can install the other side and get this locked down. All right, that's gonna wrap up my install of the Whiteline adjustable front and rear sway bars for this Mustang. And for all things Mustang, keep it here at AmericanMuscle.com.